Hello and welcome to another Pan Am special. Today we have our pride and joy, or our special guest, Atlántico. Now Atlántico was available in the Dockyard of summer 2022. Now you can't get her anymore, since if you didn't get her in the Dockyard, you won't be able to get her till Wargaming hopefully adds her to Santa containers in maybe a few years. Hopefully. Okay? Now, economic-wise, without the contributor flag, 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP. Without the economic boost, 100% with the clans to free XP. So, 100% to free XP. Average, not great, but, normal. Armor-wise, she's still pretty tanky. She gets 32mm bow. She gets 152 and 102 icebreaker right here, belt armor. Then she gets a 305 and a 305 belt armor with a 125mm, 152mm side, 32 basically stern plating with the same kind of armor she has on the front. So you can bounce shells on your side. And that's the key to making her live long, is bouncing those shells all on that armor on her side. If you can bounce shells on that, you'll live a long time. Now, health-wise, it's average. It's 60,000 with a 31% torpedo reduction. Okay. Sorry about that. Gun-wise, sorry, I was interrupted. But gun-wise, these are British 15-inch guns. Okay. 30-second reload, 30-second 180 time, 240. 246 dispersion at max range, 18.6 max range, 10,700 in for max damage, which is really good. The velocity is actually pretty good, but the dispersion is what kills you. You'll be shooting some things at point blank. So let's say the forts on Killer Whale. You shoot those forts. Sometimes your shells will just go all over the place. And you're like wondering what the hell happened. Well, that's the dispersion kicking in. So these guns do troll you at times, but they do hit hard. Now her secondaries. She gets 10 5-inch guns at 127mm. Now they have a 6-second reload, 10.8 range, only built in, 1800 max damage, 6% of fires, 21mm armor pin, and a 792 velocity. Okay, average. Now these are the pride and joys. Are her 234 secondary, two 34mm secondary guns. She gets 8 of these bad boys. Or gets 16 barrels, but 8 turrets. Okay? Now, those guys have a 12-second reload, 10.8 range, fully built in, 32, 38, 50 max damage, 22% of fire, 761 in velocity, but the armor pin is 59 millimeters. That's a lot of. That basically will pin practically most ships you'll face, in randoms and in ops. So you'll be able to pin them basically all over the place, unless it's like Musashi or Yamato. Then good luck. Now airstrike wise, for subs, 10-kilometer range, 2 flights, 1 plane in each flight with 2 bombs, 4,200 max damage. Not much. AA-wise, actually very respectable. 20 single mount dual or Lycan machine guns. 16 dual mount or Lycan machine guns. 12 dual barreled Bofors. 4 quad mount Bofors. And then she gets the 5-inch guns. 306 for continuous damage, 1400 for rain, for max, for shell explosions, and so in a 5.8 range. So very respectable. Do not underestimate the AA on this ship. This thing has actually really good AA. Maneuverability wise, not that good. 25 knots, 800 meter turning circle, and a 15-second rudder shift. Now concealment wise, she can almost stealth secondary at 12.8 and a 10.8 secondary range. So anything that spots you is basically is basically right on top of you in your secondaries. Okay? So let's get into the modules, because this is what makes her that. Again, Auxiliary Armaments 1 for the secondaries. Damage Control Mod 1 and 2 for surviving. Secondary Battery Modification 1 and Concealment. Because you're going to want that for using the secondaries. Now she gets 4 heals fully built in. Actually, no, 5 heals fully built in. I don't have Superintendent, so it's 5 fully built in, 4 without. Typical damage control. Now, for the build, this is a 16-point captain for my Nueva. So I do Demolition Expert, Emergency Repair Specialist, Brisk, Adrenaline Rush, full secondaries. Now, and then I would do, basically, with Concealment, so that'd be 18 points. And then if you really wanted to, you could do Preventative Maintenance and then Vigilance for more torp protection, or you could do Basic Survivability and or Improved Repair Parties Readiness. Now with that consumable, with that detection, anything that spots you is basically, like I said, right on top of your secondaries. It's like 0.7 difference. Not a lot of range, not a lot of reaction time for them to really react. But this, and that's why I take Brisk, because you only have 25 knots. Brisk will make it go a little bit faster, and you'll want that in operations, trust me. But other than that, she's a very good ship. I really have enjoyed this ship. I really do think the ship is one of the best Dockyard ships that they've released. Now, for exterior-wise, this is her default camo. Kind of, meh and ugly, and kind of like a relic of a bygone age. But then she gets the war paint, which really brings her to life. You get the flags, the beautiful colors. The war paint just makes her look more lively and more beautiful. That's the pride and joy of it. But she's a really good ship. I cannot say a bad thing about this ship. I think it's a phenomenal ship. And if you've had the chance to pick it up, or picked it up and never really used it, start using it. It's a good ship. Now, definitely, you want to build, this build right here is basically what you want for battleship skills, at the bare minimum. The rest of the points are up to you. Using that build, you can pretty much terrorize ranked and pretty much everything. So you'll have a lot of fun with the ship. But let's get into the replay, and I'll show you how to do Atlántico. Hello, and welcome to the Atlántico review. Now, Atlántico, as many players do know, I hope, Atlántico was the Dockyard from summer of 2002. Yeah, summer of 2002. So, I think that this ship was one of the best ships they ever released from the Dockyard. The other one, I would say, probably the Puerto Rico and the Desiten de Prevención, which is one I wish I had and hadn't gone on retirement. There are a lot of good ships I missed on retirement. So, if you're going to take a retirement from ships, limit it to about 1 to 2 months off, not a year. But my team, a Ranger, Atlántico, Nebraska, Brandenburg, Chappie, Talon, and Pensacola. So a lot of DPM ships with really good, just everything. And Atlántico has like the biggest secondaries in the game. Well, I guess for its tier anyway. These are really big secondaries. And these things hit hard. I mean, we're talking like big damage. So never underestimate this ship. If you get in a second range and you think you're gonna gun it down, yeah, be wary. Those secondaries hurt. And if you're in a carrier, don't think you're gonna get away with striking this thing either. It has actually very decent AA. It can shred planes unless the person puts more survivability into their batteries and not their AA, then you can kind of weaken it that way. But it has really decent AA. Now, I do decide to go through the Southern Way. I usually recommend that at least 1 to 2 battleships go through the Southern Way, because the Southern Way is it's the shortest way in and out, and it's such a critical choke point. And 1 battleship go through the middle. Like, I mean, like how our team is. We have a Chappie, Nebraska, and myself going through the south, and the other 3 are going through the north. A CV, he's just kind of doing his own thing. But he's tier 6, he has to. But I am glad, you know, he is going for the cruiser. He needs the damage. And if he's grinding that line, he needs the XP. Ranger was a good ship for this op at tier 6. And would be great attacking the Southern Way, but now it's just a lot harder. So I understand him going for the weaker target. And completely juked it. Now... who was in the chat? Okay. I don't know what that guy was saying, misclick. As you can see, my damage is pretty meh. Like, let's be honest, it's pretty bland.
The ship is on fire.
And I'm gonna beach. I thought I could pull this turn off, but you know, I screw up. But also, Atlántico is just too slow to even go anywhere in past this island. Literally, if you're in Atlántico, you're better off pulling what I did, because, or any slow battleship. Like, let's say you bring in a Mexico or a Colorado. Yeah, you're just gonna want to do like an Atlántico.
Enemy battleship detected. Enemy cruiser detected.
Again, only 3 shells, but still almost 11,000 damage. Not bad. And I had a lot of trouble getting out of this position. But I'm in a really nice position where I can bounce shells, and I lose a secondary battery there. Again, the big ones always seem to die. And I'm thinking, which one did I lose? And I lost one of my big turrets. Again, I don't know why, but these big turrets also seem to get knocked out more than the little ones do. Maybe because it's just, they're more easy to hit, but I know also they have like a random module health, from what I heard, from what I've heard from Flammoo's video. So maybe that's why they always seem to get knocked out, is that they're all random health. So I can understand him being frustrated also. Like, the random health is just kind of like, yeah, because that's something that I've never heard of in my years of playing this. I've never heard of that being a complete random health, an RNG base for your modules. Is it frustrating? Yeah, because I would really like to have the same health on these guns, because I need these big guns. So having you know, a complete randomized base, it's difficult. Fortunately, this wreck disappeared, so I just be able to make my turn. Otherwise, it would have been a very painful and annoying, you know, drive. The secondaries are opening up on the Baron. But I also know that I have 2 minutes before the reinforcements spawn. So I've got to get moving. And 2 minutes is a lot. Yes, I could spend helping secondary down this battleship, but that would put me out of position where I need to be. So I just decided, you know what, I gotta go for my targets. No, I was hoping that Nebraska would come with me. I really needed his help. Because I've done this in Atlántico, and in Atlántico, it's about a 50-50 job, whether or not you survive or not. It's really 50-50. And in Massachusetts, in a Flanders and Atlántico are kind of 50-50. And Massey, well, that's usually about an 80 to 100%, let's be honest. Massey just does so much more better at this. But Atlántico, yes, it's slow. It has a lot of superstructure, so it takes chunks.
I need your support.
Damage from superstructure. Plus, if you want to try to get all your guns off or your secondaries off, you got to show more broadside. So it's balancing that. Do I want to get my secondaries off or just try to stay alive? Usually it's best to stay alive. And we're at 12 seconds, so 12 seconds and it spawns. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and now.
Reconnaissance reporting. Enemy reinforcement.
Fuso spawns, and the gate spawns right off my left. And I decided to go for the gate, because there's no point for me to charge this Fuso. One, he's going to come towards me. And if I kill the DDs first, that makes my job a lot easier. Again, beautiful dispersion. A nice 3K salvo coming out of those guns. So, not bad. And I mean, he's gonna die from secondaries. I mean, one of these big guns is just gonna melt his secondaries. And basically break everything. Like, another decent little salvo. 5K, so he's going down. He's got a fire. Secondary picks him up.
Enemy destroyer blown
And I switch to the Fubuki because I need to kill him, otherwise it's going to be a short drive back to port. And I want to put some angle into the Fuso, because I know he's going to be shooting me, so I want to bounce his shells. Again, right off the bat, 6,000 on the Fubuki. And I'm pushing him because I know his torps shouldn't be loaded by the time we do the drive-by. Plus, secondaries going in on him. Fuso bounces the shells. Knockout, incapacitate one torp tube. And they're telling me, and the Brandenburg tells me to get back. I'm like, nope, I ain't getting back. And the Chappie goes negative. Why would you want him to get back? Because he knows what I'm doing. Chappie's giving me support. And I'm not shooting because I'm just gonna do the drive-by. Now this is where I do slightly screw up. Slightly. Now, I'm not going to do completely flat. I want to still angle in, so he shoots, they still bounce. Bounce. $30,000 now. I should have just kept going straight, but I showed way too much side. And I get 17,000 damage. But still, a 40,000 damage, almost. Strike. Not bad, but not great. Now, he has no help. He's got fires on it. Secondaries on him. And I switch back to the Nurnberg. And I'm thinking, this Nurnberg's gonna kill me if I can't kill him. I pick up the Fuso with fire.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
Nurnberg's looking at me. The dispersion coming out is beautiful. 21,000. Nurnberg gone. My biggest problem gone.
Well done, Commander.
I owe you one.
I still got 3 heals, so that's good. but I'm at half health. Again, like you said, and I've lost a lot of secondary turrets. I mean, I've lost 2 on my left side. I don't know how many I have on the right side, though. I don't know if I'll show myself. And I'm just gonna, and I know I don't have the health, so I've got to do the drive-by. I got my guns in the position, and I'm angling in so I can bounce all their shells.
The ship is on fire.
I get a 14k salvo, and I have time to reload, so I have to angle in and turn. I DCP'd immediately because I want to try to live. Again, at this angle, he's just going to bounce and pin me only a little bit.
Problem solved, sir.
53,000 damage. 4 citadels. Again, that fire is gonna, that's gonna kill me. Now our chappie picks up that kill, and well, it basically saves me. Again, I don't know how those didn't penetrate. Like, those are right in that area. Right in those areas. You can see where they were. Fortunately, our chappie is right there to AP it and help me. I say much obliged. Really appreciated the help.
That was a great battle.
Now, this is where it's basically, I'm at 234,000. And there's no other ships out here to take the fire from the northern spawn ships. So, guess who they shoot? Me. So, the Nurnberg, the Baron, all are shooting me. So, and I can't go dark.
The ship is on fire.
And I got a fire.
Problem solved, sir. The ship
I
is on
really
fire.
should have let that first fire burn. I think if I had let that first fire burn, I might have lived. But I'm also have like 14k detection, so there was no way I was gonna go dark, even if I had saved it, because the Baron's still in my detection range, and he kills me. But in damage 245,000 and 500,000 and 600,000 damage. Very respectable, very decent. Considering I took on all those reinforcements, basically by myself and with a little help from the chap. Now, I kind of was really hoping that the Talon would honestly die. I honestly hoped he would die. I know that's a sad thing, but that would mean if he dies, that only one of these ships in the south have to get to it. Since he's alive, we need at least 2. So, would you rather have just 1 get through or 2? And the chap is saying, come on guys, let's get moving. I mean, and I know we have time. Though Chappie, still 2/3 health. But he has a Nurnberg spawning on him in a few seconds. Nurnberg should be spawning in about 10 seconds right now.
Reconnaissance reporting.
There's the York, a little after 10 seconds, but still. But, like, he's got a full health York right there. That vastly outnumbers him. And I mean, yes, the Nebraska is going in on it. He's got support. But I mean, remember, German HE. It'll basically pin his light cruiser hull all over it. So he doesn't have much armor. Plus, if he takes solid permafires, he's gonna have to deal with that. Like, he was at, 20-some thousand. Now he's just slightly going downhill. And he took a good AP chunk, probably a Citadel there. Nebraska not getting lucky. Now, I know if he dies, we still win. But obviously, I wanted him to live. I didn't want Jappy to die. He did a lot of help to help me. So, of course I didn't want him to die. Kind of shocked he didn't get that kill, but Nebraska gets it with the secondary. He lives, but he lost around at least 20,000 health just fighting that Nurnberg. Had he been alone, he would have been dead. Fortunately, we make it out literally, like, probably 20 seconds before the next spawn happens. So, we were lucky. And right there, it's a GG. Solid 4 stars. It's unfortunate it's not 5, but 4, very respectable for Killer Whale these days. Not bad.